Name the greatest band. Greatest pop band. Great great band for lyrics. Well, hit or miss, I guess. But I mean, they definitely had great lyrics, I think. I believe in their late, kind of in their late kind of years there. And of course, I'm talking about the Beatles, the Fab Four. Now, of course, you may be thinking, why do you have a compilation in your series here? Well, you know what? I actually really love, and I actually really like, when it comes to Beatles stuff, I actually kind of prefer sometimes, well, I do kind of prefer. I mean, of course, the albums are fantastic, fan-damn-tastic. But I do also like the compilations as well, and I do like this one here. This is from 1988. Where some of these weren't released. They were kind of on other. They were mostly just singles. They weren't actually on any. I believe for the UK, I believe they weren't properly on an album or whatever. So that's why they came up with this Past Masters, which is fantastic. I mean, I love every damn song on the CD. You got the first one, which kind of starts from '63, and you got some of the B-sides. I actually really like some of those Beatles B-sides, like "I'm Down." How can you know when I'm down? And Yes It Is. God, what a really solid B-side for I believe that was for Ticket to Ride, I believe, right? Or Help. Oh no, it was for Ticket to Ride. But I'm Down was the B-side for Help. Oh yeah. And some of the ones you don't really hear as much, like I Call Your Name. And of course, disc 2 has pretty much all their great singles, of course, like Day Tripper and We Can Work It Out. Oh my God, I love Rain. When the rain comes. And and you got your Get Back and your and this was even worth it too for the Inner Light, which I'm not really big on, but I kind of like it, and Old Brown Shoe. Wow, I actually kind of like Old Brown Shoe. That's kind of good. And My Name, Look Up the Number, really goofy as hell song, but you know what? Damn it, man, I love the Past Masters. And also as well, which is a really solid compilation again, is the 67 to 70, the Blue album they call it. This is the 2009. This isn't the one where from a few years back where they remixed all the songs and they added in I think they added in a few more other Beatles songs. But yeah, this was the original 2009 or whatever mix or whatever. Of course, with Strawberry Fields, and you got stuff from the '67 psychedelic era to stuff from the '68 and some of the White Album songs, and just really, I think this is definitely a really solid one. But I do also, which I don't have, but I do also like that Red album, the Red one from them. I believe it's like '63. I believe it was between '63 to '66, right, or something like that. Yeah, but great stuff. Okay, then for the albums. Now I do want to also mention about these as well. Now, of course, these were technically albums, but you can call them compilations as well. And one of them, of course, and I love the aesthetic of these, especially this one, the font or whatever. Now, of course, with the long history of, with them having to censor or perhaps ban that really gross tech album cover, the Butcher cover, it was that guy, what's his name? Robert Whittaker, right? Was that the photographer that did the Butcher album cover, whatever? But they went with this cover, which is the truncated cover, whatever, And yeah, and again, this is the reason why I'm saying I love the aesthetic. You can tell by the font or whatever. And even the back is just, there you go, the songs, the albums, whatever, that were out at the time. And yeah, of course this is, from the box set or whatever. But yeah, I actually really appreciate, and I actually really love Yesterday and Today. Yes, Yesterday and Today. With the opening track, Drive My Car. And I think I can take it or leave it with the two Ringo songs, but I really wish that they would have put Paperback Writer and Rain. But, I mean, that is kind of a little bit of a letdown, I believe. But, I mean, Mac Naturally's all right. And What Goes On is not really a great Beatles song, but, And you got that early mix of I'm Only Sleeping. Oh, man, one really great underrated Beatles song is Dr. Robert, which is really great. And, of course, Try See It My Way. We can work it out and get it straight or say goodnight. We can work it out. And, of course, ending with Day Tripper. What a great way to end it. I definitely do believe this is my favorite, I guess, album of just singles and stuff or whatever, unreleased songs. Kind of a compilation. Yeah, so where did Paperback Writer and Rain end up going into? Well, or which album did they end up going into? They released this in early 1970, and it's a compilation, and it is Hey Jude. I do also have this on vinyl as well, the record. And once again, I really like the solid track listing on here, except it does start off with Can't Buy Me Love, which I believe there was something to do with some sort of, wasn't on a proper Beatles album, or they didn't own the rights to it because it was just a single or whatever, There's some sort of backstory on that, And again, Old Brown Shoe, I like that song, and Rain. Paperback Writer and Rain end up going on this. Lady Madonna. Now it's weird how it doesn't have the Inner Light on here, so. But I think it wasn't until that Past Masters. But yeah, again, once again, this is some really great, solid track list of songs or whatever, which I kind of really like this a little bit more than Yesterday and Today. But I think Yesterday and Today has that, it's almost like capsulated, right? Or capulated, it's in its own capsule of that 65, kind of, mid 65 and that 66 period or whatever. Where they're trying to squeeze in the psychedelic, trying to squeeze that in. And then I also got a really great album as well, Revolver, which I'm really starting to love. It's definitely one of those great albums you listen to over and over again, right? And of course the great, and definitely the album cover too, the Klaus, Klaus Vormann, yeah. Opening up with the song Taxman. Just you start off with that solo and you go in with George Harrison's vocals. Now I know some people, which I'm a little bit bothered of, because I know some people don't like Yellow Submarine, and they say, well, Revolver is if they didn't have Yellow Submarine, it would have been a solid, perfect album. But damn it, man, I really like. It's fun. I like Yellow Submarine. I don't get why some people like that song. I don't know why. Is it really just Ringo's vocals? You got the great, the goofiness or whatever, with the sound effects and stuff and what have you, But it's still great. I love it. I like Yellow Submarine. I don't care. and of course you got like I said, Dr. Robert. What a great song that not a lot of Beatles fans talk about. That's definitely a great one. And Tomorrow Never Knows. Great. That's definitely one of their kind of before the Revolution 9 kind of thing, or whatever. But I think Revolution 9 is a little bit more freakier, I believe, than Tomorrow Never Knows. I believe it's a little bit more palatable, I believe, a little bit more tamed, I believe, Tomorrow Never Knows. Yeah, I do like Revolver. And of course my favorite Beatles album, which I know maybe it might be some for a lot of Beatles fans or whatever, and that is Sgt. Pepper, Lonely Hearts Club Band. Yeah, I do like I really like the, you know what I mean? I just absolutely love the way they recorded the album. You know what I mean? That you got bits of weird kind of tape looping and some really weird stuff. You know, you got some Baroque elements in there. You got some rock stuff in there. You know, and the oh my God, that beautiful harp that's done by that lady. Forget her name. That was on that she plays on She's Leaving Home. Oh my God. Right? And of course you got the ending to Sergeant Pepper, which is A Day in the Life. And yeah, I mean, what could be said? I mean, this is definitely one of those albums that has been talked about over and over again. And again, I like Sergeant Pepper. What can go wrong? And I love the Beatles. Okay, now, to end it off here on this video, there's a 60s group that's very underrated. Now, I might probably put in the link, I believe, to this video, I will put a link to a YouTube channel. He did a very great history on this band. Now, I don't know why I feel like they need to be more, they need to be talked about more, you know, especially like Gary Lewis and, people, guys like that, and the Buckinghams. They're only talked about, I mean, they're only just for the hits or whatever, but this band here is really, I really like this band. And once again, I'll put the link in the description or whatever. The YouTube channel there, Matt Williamson, Pop Goes the 60s, does a great video on the Beau Brummels. Now, before going into these, now this was actually their last two albums before they ended up splitting up, but they did have another album, I believe, in 74 or 75, I believe. It was kind of like a reunion album. But, yeah, a lot of people just know them just for, I believe the only two big hits they had, which was Laugh Laugh and Just a Little. That I just cried just a little, that song, whatever. Those first two albums that were produced by, I believe, Sly Stone, who produced those first two albums. And they were on that, it was like an independent label, I think. Or it was owned by some other label, I believe. I think it was Harvest, I believe, or Autumn. It was Autumn or Harvest Records. And, they had some duds here and there, whatever. And they had a lot of band members kind of leave or whatever. And they had like a really bad, it was just like an all albums, it was just pretty much an all covers album where they do, I believe they did a really bad version of, they did a really bad cover version of the Beatles song. I don't know, they did pretty much hits of just that era, whatever, of that, 66. I believe it was just called the Beau Brummels 66. But man, you got to check out these two last albums here that are done by the Beau Brummels. Now, I do like this one here. This one's kind of a little bit psychedelic. You got Van Dyke Parks, who plays, I believe he plays like some really great, I believe he does Mellotron, I believe, on Are You Happy, the opening track. And you got that great vocalist, Sal Valentino. Just a really great, and this band too kind of really spurred the kind of the California sound, before the Jefferson Airplane and all that, But yeah, so yeah, Triangle was the one which only came down to just the three members here. And also Ron Elliott. Yeah, Sal's right there. I believe that's Ron Elliott. Either that or that's in there. But also got some great session players. They got some Wrecking Crew guys on some, on Triangle. And of course Magic Hollow. I believe that was another one that was done by, what's his name? Van Dyke Parks. And also, yeah, and I like the song Triangle, the album title as well. And they also cover Old Kentucky Home, which was a cover, which was a Randy Newman song. And I also like their follow-up as well, which came out towards the end of '68. It kind of reminds me, the album cover there kind of reminds me of the Big Pink, music from Big Pink from the band. And you got some really great people. I mean, you got, I think a lot of people from that Nashville, that general area, whatever. They call them the Nashville Cats, you know. Jerry Reed. You got, I believe Charlie Daniels. I believe Charlie Daniels plays on Bradley's Barn, which is the album, whatever. And, yeah, Kenny Butchery. Some really, I believe, yeah, so Bradley's Barn's a little bit more country, you know. They do dabble it a little bit on Triangle. I do like that song, Cherokee Girl. That's my favorite on and then once again, their ending track to that album is another Randy Newman song, which is the song "Bless You, California." So yeah, if you really like, again, that psychedelic mixed in with country and pop and all that, you know, and that definitely remind me of like groups like The Circle and the Left Bank and the well, yeah, a little bit Buckingham's, a little bit Simon and Garfunkel-ish, you know, with Sal Valentino's vocals or whatever. Kind of gives me a little bit of a Paul Simon vibe. Definitely check out Triangle and Bradley's Barn. And there you have it, folks. Those are the CDs I'm showing you right here on this is like my third video, I believe, of the series here. So anyways, folks, until then, take care, and I hope to see you next time, okay? Bye-bye.